Yes, I'm just outside my first ever rent-to-rent deal, okay? I've done other deals, but this was my first ever rent-to-rent deal. And guess what? I'm gonna be buying it. I'm Simon, and on this video, I'm gonna strategically show you how to set up in a way where you can get rent-to-rent deals and then go on to buy the best performing ones for your long-term legacy wealth. If you're brand new to the channel, we talk all things rent to HMO, rent to SA, BRRRR, and how to be financially independent through property today, not in 25 years, guys, you know the way. So I'm stood outside one of my first ever rent-to-rent deals, and the best thing about this deal is the location. Literally, it is seconds away from the city centre. It's minutes away from the university. There's a beautiful park just behind me, which, you know, conservation area and that. And this property has smashed it from day one. Now, a lot of you, yes, you want the cash flow today, but you want the cash flow tomorrow. And what I've started to do a few years into rent-to-rent now is start to look at strategically purchasing the ones that are best performing to create win-wins for myself and the owners. And a lot of you, I know when you go on these property courses, you come out, you know, trying rent-to-rent, trying lease options, trying this, trying that. And my advice is simplify things, slow down. Start with rent-to-rent and only sell one thing, rent-to-rent 2.0, rent-to-rent. If you go to a vendor with, well, we could buy it, or we could rent-to-rent it, or we could do a lease option and eventually buy it, but we might not buy it, and we need to decide a price now, and you know, it starts complicating things. You won't ask a girl to marry her on the first date, right? So it's the same with the landlords. What you want to do is build up rapport, start working together, and do a good job for them, and there'll be plenty of opportunity to buy the property later. So the great thing about buying a property is you're able to do more to it. So this property is 4 bedrooms, but it's only 1 bathroom. That's always been a bit tricky. But once you purchase the property, you can obviously invest more and reconfigure it nicely. So that's what we're going to be doing here. And we're going to be looking at creating a 4 or a 5 bed. We might even be able to extend slightly, add a couple of bathrooms. This property has a slight danger of flooding when there's heavy rainwater, so we're going to sort that out, and maybe even flip the sort of lounge and the kitchen round just to create more space. So stay tuned for that. So here are my top 5 tips on how to purchase your rent-to-rent 2.0 style. Number 1, keep it simple at the start, okay? Don't overcomplicate things. You don't want to scare the landlord off and lose the deal altogether. So go steady. If they want to sell and they're happy to commit to it, yeah, maybe try a lease option. However, if they're in 2 minds or if they're not sure, just stick it on a rent-to-rent first and grow from there. Number 2 is buying isn't always better. And I've done videos in the past where I've had the opportunity of buying the property and spending 60 grand, or rent-to-renting the property and spending 6 grand. And the cash flow was the same. It didn't make sense. If I can't buy at a discount or below market value, you've got to ask yourself, do you really need to own? Because it's going to tie up a lot of your cash. So don't always just force it, because it might not be the best option. And I've said no a lot in the past. Number 3, okay, you need to understand that things change. So over 5 years, the landlord may have circumstances, things might change, there could be move-in, they could have financial difficulty, there could be all these different things, or maybe they just want to exit the market. So you do need to just be patient and realize that it is a long game. Number 4 is cherry pick the best performing ones. So one of the best things about rent-to-rent is you get to cherry pick what you're doing. And I'll tell you a little top tip if you're doing SA. In order to get the best serviced accommodation mortgages with the highest values, you need to prove a track record of income. So technically, if you run an SA for 2 years before buying it, then you're going to be able to essentially agree a price with the landlord, go to a specialist lender to get a really massive valuation, part commercial for the SA, and you might be able to buy yourself the house for free. Sounds good, eh? Thank me later. And lastly, number 5 is to check in with your landlords and see how they're finding the service. Have your situations changed? Where are you thinking? When we started, you said, you know, over 5 years, you're no chance you're going to sell it. Is that still the case? Because if you don't check in, you might miss the opportunity. And what happens is sometimes they'll instruct an agent just to stick it on the market, or sometimes they'll stay in an agreement that's not really working for them. So I really, really recommend checking in every 6 months. How's it going? How's this service serving you? Are your plans still the same with the property? And that's absolutely key. So I hope you found this useful. I'll do another video when we complete on this bad boy, which I'm super excited because I know we can add value and I know it's a good one to hold. I'll see you in the next video. Whatever you do, don't wait 25 years. Get creative.
Introducing Creative Cashflow Plus, the first rent-to-rent app and leading platform dedicated to supporting you on your property journey. Ask the experts anything. Be held accountable so that you can smash your goals. Mastermind with other rent-to-rent specialists. Access our deal clinic to get your deals analysed by a pro. And unlock hours of videos and podcasts guaranteed to help you take your rent-to-rent business to the next level. Get the ongoing support that you deserve. Join us, Creative Cashflow Plus.